You're not being fair with that response. She asked you a very simple question, yes or no. Look at the appointees. Do you believe DEI had anything to do with those appointees? Do you believe they were qualified? Do you think they would protect and defend the Constitution that represents all of the people of the United States of America?
I think Mark Rubio.
I think you all have literally no idea how the government works, is what I
Get him, Scott. Get him, Scott.
Scott, if race is not the issue, then why is DEI mentioned every
5
single
seconds.
day as a solution to every single problem that faces this
Because of how pervasive it is,
but do you
and
think
how
it's
hateful
really
it is
true?
to an actual conservative ideological view.
But do you think it is true that all of America's ills, from the plane crash to whatever
Yes.
it is, wildfires,
I
due
think-
to DEI for real?
I think that
For real.
if you believe in the fundamental principle of America, which is that we guarantee everybody an equal chance, not an equal outcome, but an equal chance, then trying to go around that principle, conservatives don't believe in
Yes.
it. And most people who believe in America don't believe
I'd
in
like
it, number one. Number two, the concept of not hiring the best person for the job in government or anywhere else has been repeatedly rejected by the American people, the Supreme Court, and everything else. And so
What do you
get
mean?
Okay, Abby Phillips is trying to change it in the way where, okay, Republicans, why are you guys choosing DEI as a race thing? They're trying to get rid of DEI. They're trying to get rid of racism. That's why they're going after every aspect of the country that has incorporated some type of DEI program and abolishing it completely.
So I guess what I'm saying is, like, if that is the case, then people are questioning the actual qualifications of many people Donald Trump hired for jobs.
Yeah.
So do you think that he actually...
why?
Because Elon Musk
Okay.
doesn't even go here.
Do you think that he...
That's why.
This is the question people are asking.
Them saying, okay, Elon Musk doesn't belong here. He doesn't belong part of the government. He doesn't belong part of this country. He's a U.S. citizen now. He's actually devoted himself to become a U.S. citizen, made billions of dollars. He's the richest man in the world now. And he's helping the president restore this country back in order. That's not a bad thing. We've had politicians for years running this country, and look where it's got us. It's gotten to the point where you guys implemented stupid things around the world and having American taxpayers pay for some of it, or most of it. And now we have somebody coming in, Elon Musk, that's not a politician. He's a businessman, just as Donald Trump was before his first presidency. And now they're reshaping this country back to the way of sanity, getting rid of programs that promote racism, such as DEI, and getting rid of the no men playing in women's sports. That is common sense. Why would you allow that?
This is the question that Ryan Clark just asked. Did Donald Trump, for Health and Human Services, find the person with the best expertise to address that set of issues? When it comes to the Department of Defense, did he find the person with the best expertise to address those issues, or did he just find people who he liked?
Robert Kennedy Jr. emphasized in his entire campaign to become president about making America healthy, and had a vision of what this country should be in regards to our health. And so that's why Trump chose him. Doesn't mean that he has to be the all-time expert in the universe to know that position. But he is strongly passionate of that position, that he knows that he can appoint other people around him, just as Trump did for his presidency, to surround Robert Kennedy Jr. can surround himself with people that are also passionate about bringing America back health again. So, I mean, it makes sense why he chose him. And I don't understand why these people are confused. Like, I have a question for all these ladies on here, or anybody that's opposing it, because do they honestly believe that Biden did a great, awesome job running this country? They're ridiculous if their answer is yes.
Political appointees have one qualification. They serve at the pleasure of the president because the president believes that person's going to best carry out their agenda. That is the only qualification.
And to protect and defend the Constitution.
And
against
that is the only.
also
That's the only qualification for a political appointee.
Competency doesn't matter.
Of course, they're competent. Of course, he believes they're competent. If he didn't believe they were competent, he wouldn't appoint them.
I'm not being fair with that. You're not being fair with that response. She asked you a very simple question: yes or no. Look at the appointees. Do you believe DEI had anything to do with those appointees? Do you believe they were qualified? Do you think they would protect and defend the Constitution that represents all of the people of the United States of America?
I think Mark Rubio.
I think you all have literally no idea how the government works, is what I
Get him, Scott. Get him, Scott.
At a higher level than anyone here.
People at this table have served in the government.
Yeah, me too.
including for this
Yeah, but not well.
I just want to
That's
say
why you're
that
here.
I think the premise that DEI exists and therefore the people that got the opportunity, perhaps because of DEI, are not qualified is a flawed premise.
Correct.
And I think that is what is so frustrating about the argument around DEI. We know in this country historically, and even today, there are still injustices in this country based on race, based on gender, based on ideology.
Based on who your daddy played
golf with. Yes.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman said it. How do you get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. This lady, she's a woman of color. She wants to continue talking about race. So racism will continue to be pushed out there. Because she's in the media, she's going to keep pushing it out there. Shut up. Stop talking about race. Talk about merit. Who deserves the position? Not based on the color of your skin or if you're a man or a woman. If you're good at the job, you get the job. Point blank.
That
so
happens every single day. We know
But
that.
it happens every single day all over the planet.
That's
the
what I'm
planet Earth. It is
And
human
so-
nature.
It
is human in
No,
every
it
single,
doesn't
and we're the best at it. We're the best at trying
We
to
know.
include
Donald Trump's our
people.
president.
Arthur, I guess that's exactly my point. I agree.
She
with
mad.
you. I think that it is
Middle of the country who's not hyper-partisan on this issue. I think that people generally think diversity is a virtue. It makes businesses better. It makes institutions better. But they also don't like when you have companies or organizations that are spending huge amounts of money to stand up DEI office. As an example, Fairfax County Public Schools, $400,000 spent on a DEI office, but kids are not reading at the levels that they should. They're not advancing at the levels that they should. It's not the issue
But were
of
they doing
diversity.
that before the office was stood up?
Well, no, and probably not. And so I'm not saying
so
the
maybe,
connection.
So maybe
it's the
implementing DEI might
No,
actually help people
but it's
have
not
a
an
better
argument
educational
against
outcome.
DEI. It's how much of our
Maybe, maybe
resources
not.
are we actually putting
But
to
that's
it?
not the way the conversation is being posed in America today. The conversation about DEI and woke and all of that sounds about marginalized Black and brown people who already are threatened seem to be threatened in this community, in this society, and they're not getting the same opportunities. It was the same thing with affirmative action. Went to UCLA,
Exactly.
they got
That-
rid of affirmative action.
Affirmative action is garbage. It's giving people a step up when they could just climb up. Work your tail off and climb up the ladder to be where you want to be in life. Stop expecting the government or anybody in life to say, hey, you know what? There's not enough, your kind. We're gonna, curve the entrance for you to apply here, and we're just gonna just give you the job because you're of color or because you're a woman. No, that is a bunch of BS. This is why a lot of different companies are starting to get rid of them, because they're finally figuring out, oh, finally we got rid of these programs because Trump doesn't believe that this is relevant or helpful for the American people, for any race, anybody in this country.
Everyone said you got in because of affirmative action. When I graduated, affirmative action didn't take my test. Affirmative action didn't help me get to where I'm at today. It gave me access that I didn't have based on the opportunity that I lacked because of the circumstances I was born into, which had nothing to do with me, but the country in which we live in. So the reality is—
Have you seen the test scores of UCLA Medical, by the way?
My point being, Scott, is that everyone doesn't have the same access. People like to hire their friends. They like to hire the people that they like to be around.
Do you think they like to hire the
also
best people for the job?
But I also think
Maybe.
around the idea of diversity.
No, Donald Trump hired all of his friends.
Okay, so if I started a company or ran the country, became president, I'm going to want people I know that can do the positions. If it happens to be family or friends or people that are in positions that know exactly what they're doing in the position that I'm appointing them to, hell yes, I'm choosing them. So her saying, oh, Trump's using all of his friends. Some of them weren't even his friends. A lot of them weren't his friends. The past 4 years, 8 years, some of them, even the vice president, J.D. Vance, used to talk so much crap about Trump. The media trashed him and said, why are you all of a sudden flipping around just so to bend the knee to Trump? Because if you heard clearly from J.D. Vance himself, he went on the media, he went so many times in interviews saying that he didn't know who Trump was. He heard who he was through the media. So he had a picture of who Trump was. It wasn't until he met Trump, had a discussion with them, when Trump came to him and said, hey, you know, who are you? Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. What's your way of thinking? What do you see yourself in this country? J.D. Vance came around and said, you know what? I made a mistake. And he admitted it. I made a mistake about Donald Trump. And I said a lot of things that, you know, I didn't know at the time. It's because the media pushed it. And now that I know who he really is, I'm in full support of what he's doing because it aligns with what I want for this country, for my family. The media here is ridiculous. They better start flipping the switch on reporting true things because a lot of these companies are getting shut down. CNN, they're going down. I know Trump sued them already. A lot of the ratings are going down on all these the news outlets, and that's why the press secretary is telling the world, hey, if you're a creator, content creator, or a YouTuber or anything, and you report news, factual news, and you're honest about it, we have a seat for you here in the press briefing room. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for the truth. I'm all for trying to figure out what's real and what's not. And a lot of these ladies like to backpedal and talk about the past and this and that. It's not going to work in their favor. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate it. Until next time, peace out, guys.